first-ranked opponent in North Dakota, a lot of, that's supposed to step in the league this year. I guess I'm just wondering, when you get a chance to face that kind of competition, what did you learn from that experience that maybe you didn't get in the first weekend?
Probably the heaviest, hardest team we've played as far as playing heavy. And I thought that was good because I thought we got stressed. We got stressed out. We had pushed from a physical standpoint. And understanding whatever standard of play that is established, we have to be able to execute and small things matter when you have a team that can take a mistake and put it in the back of your net. Example, we talked about discipline, and within 15 seconds we were in the penalty box. There goes one toe. Then we blow another one off on a power play, coming back and team being hard on us and pressuring, and we cracked a little bit and went in the back of our net, blown coverage, 1-0. North Dakota's good enough. There's a lot of teams, most teams in college hockey, when you give them repeated opportunities, they can make you pay for it. And I thought that's what North Dakota did. Now, the positive there is I didn't think we went away. Did we have some valleys in there? Yes. We had opportunities, close but not good enough. That's a learning experience for us. A young team going through that in that environment. I know we didn't get the win. I thought that experience, I hope, is going to serve us well going forward. But we learned a little bit about ourselves. We saw some things in the mirror maybe we didn't like. And sometimes most times, I think that's how you need to go through a process to grow. And so hopefully we've grown from that experience.
We've talked about this these last couple of weeks. Has there been penalties? Has there been assignments? Is there one more than the other that you're concerned about right now, or that is easier to work on?
On the discipline side, I think more so, structure will continue to come through repetition where it becomes not a thought, but a habit. We talk about our dailies. So from that standpoint, I'm going to tell you, you look at David Cilliers' history, pretty disciplined, amped up a little bit, playing in a big game, makes a mistake. The thing that I loved about our guys cleaned it up, and that's the team part of it that you want to have happen when a mistake does happen. Goal against, 2 of them, blown coverage. And I found in watching as much video as I have, or coaching as in the times that I have, it's not usually one thing that goes wrong that it ends up in the back of your net. It's a minimum of 3. You look at, the shorthanded goal. We have possession, don't maintain it, gets down to our end. 2 guys go to 1 blown coverage, backdoor goal. Now again, I'm going to say this, 27 going back to get the puck. He fell for some reason, okay, on the way back to the puck. It just happens. You look at the second goal, and we have a straight 3-on-3. First guy, second guy, third guy, 3 things happen. It ends up in the back of your net. You're giving it to a guy in front that's scored a few goals. Growing pains is what I call them. I didn't think it was a lack of effort. I will tell you the idea of us going to the box as often as we have, if we want to be successful, that has to stop. Now, is it going to go right to 0? No. But we have to address it, own it, and then make sure that it gets better. From the top down, myself all the way through.
Is that something that has consequences? So you're talking about playing time. That's a quick way of addressing those kind of things. Is obviously they're going to be sitting for a couple minutes in the box, but if you hold aside and say, hey, take a seat, we're going to have to address this right now.
I look at that as, I think as a coach, your job is to talk, communicate, set a standard, and then what you're talking about, the accountability piece, yeah. And to me, the only thing that I have found over time that is effective is ice time. And so, yeah, that'll be, hopefully we're not having this next Tuesday. We're talking about progress and that we've understood that we have to own what we do and get better at it every week.
It's kind of just on that, you kind of trying different lines out, different combinations out. One that you kind of kept from the first week to the second was Ben and Joe together. you like something with that combination next time in general, or was it, I don't know, just
I like it. You know what? I think there's a good piece on both sides of that, Brett. I think you've got somebody that's a little harder, a little heavier in Joe. And I think on Dexy's side, you've got a guy that can move. I think he's got a little bit of offense to him. I think they complement each other well. Now, going forward with that, if you've looked at our lineup, we've gone with 7 defensemen. When you play 7 defensemen, if you're going to get into any type of rotation, you're going to have different guys playing with different guys consistently through that. When you get to a time where it's late in the game and you need a goal, we might shorten that bench a little bit, go to 6, go to 5, potentially go to 4. And on the opposite side of that, if we're trying to protect a lead, it might be a different group of 4. But I do like that pair. I feel comfortable. I think they like playing with each other, and they've been pretty effective for us.
Is it your philosophy that 7D is a little bit more useful than 13 forward, or do you just kind of have to go on a daily or a game-by-game basis on that?
I'm still learning about our group, and it's almost like yearly. It seems I'll have a trend if our 7th defenseman, because either we're lean or heavy up front, and I've got a swing guy that can maybe play both, can play defense, and if we get somebody dinged up, somebody gets tossed, that can go up and play up front, okay. And if I can find a forward that can do both, that if we play with 6 and something happens to one of those 6 and our minutes aren't what they need to be as far as that distribution, and I've got a swing guy, we'll go to that. But right now, I think you'll see us stay a little bit more with that 7 defensemen and 12 forwards.
Mike, you mentioned opening weekend, you liked the 5-on-5 play. What did you think of it this past weekend? And are you generating as much offense and getting the chances you want when you're even up with the opposition?
In the 2 games, it's probably a different answer. I looked at against Bemidji, we generated a lot of opportunities. Played Bemidji very many times. Haven't had that possession, that amount of opportunities offensively as we had Friday night. And so I liked our 5-on-5 play there, even though we weren't rewarded for it. Now, on Saturday, when you get into multiple games where you haven't scored a 5-on-5 goal, it's hard to score 5-on-5. It really is. We score a 3-on-3 goal in overtime. We score a 4-on-4 goal. They're even numbered, but there's a little bit more ice out there. I liked our game Friday 5-on-5. I thought when North Dakota flexed a little bit defensively, we just have to find a way to get some second and thirds. But you know what? I think that puck ended the game, and it had to have some red paint on it. We were close, but again, as my father would say, close doesn't buy you a cup of coffee. So we didn't do enough. They did. They deserved the win, and we're going to have to make sure that we push. We're going into a building. These guys can defend. They're committed to it, and they've got a guy between the posts that if he sees it, he's going to stop it. So we got our work cut out for us.
What's the benefit of having these couple of ranked matchups early in your season, especially in the situation you're in where you're trying to learn so much about a new team?
Well, for us, actually, we learned a lot our first weekend, even though Augustana, I think Augustana showed themselves the next weekend. So to me, ours is an opportunity to go out and learn about ourselves. We learned about ourselves in the first 2 games. And then I thought that benefited us for Friday's game against Bemidji. And so on with North Dakota. But to me, anytime you can have somebody expose some of your weaknesses, which is going to happen this weekend. We're going on the road. Small rink, physical. They're veteran-laden from the posts on out. I think Joe and his staff does an unbelievable job at preparing their team. You look at what they've done over the last 6-7 years since Joe's been there. They've been at the top of the league and knocking on the door of NCAA tournaments consistently. So I think it's a great opportunity for us. We'll learn a little bit.
Talk about the position that was heavy in their own head. They play that way. They have some skill up front too. But I wonder, in their end, you guys are getting a little more physical too. How do you like that matchup of trying to get your there's still guys able to get some room in a small rink against bigger players out there.
You know what, it's going to be it's a tall task, but it's one that I think at the end of the year, if you have an opportunity to play for a championship, you have an opportunity to try and continue your season, this is the type of hockey that's going to be played. The whistles go in the pockets, and they ask the players to decide it. And, you know, we've already addressed, if you think the guy in stripes is going to bail you out by raising his arm, that's probably not going to happen. So we're going to have to find a way to fight through that will to defend. You know, you've got to have that. I can't remember very well, but I know some of the guys know what it feels like to score a goal. We got to remember what that feeling is, and there's a price you've got to pay to do it.
If I remember correctly, this offseason, you said that Michigan Tech is one of your favorite places that you've coached in. How much are you looking forward to being back in such a unique environment, and these guys seeing that challenge of being in such a unique environment?
One reason I've enjoyed it is I'll say one word, and it's passion. You go up to Copper Country, and let's just say I hope they run out of Pietelas sooner or later at Tech, because I'm getting tired of playing them, coaching against them. And what I mean by that is you know what, they love Michigan Tech. The people in that area are passionate about what they do, whether it's on the rink or off the rink. The third thing is I just think when you see the Misfits and that band gets going, and the old rinks for me, and I'm dating myself, but I go all the way back to Winnipeg Jets. That rink was like this. The crowd was right on top of the ice sheet. It's no different there. The university invests in their program, and I just think they have a tremendous passion and pride of what they're doing. And so to me, I've learned we're always a better team, whether we've won 2 games, won 1, lost both. We might have a different demeanor about ourselves on how we're feeling, but I will tell you this, we will be better going through what we're going to go through on Friday and Saturday at the end of it, because of how difficult it is to win up there. And I know they're looking forward to having us there because they don't want to allow that to happen. So I think it's a great opportunity for our group. You know what, trying to figure that out here in the next probably 24, 48 hours. Hopefully not. I'm still waiting to hear from, our docs and what's going on there. So as it sits right now, I think we're going to be okay, but there's a possibility that might not come to fruition. So
Was Lindmark a scratch on Saturday, or was he injured?
he was unavailable. Yeah, and he was unavailable. He was unavailable.
Kind of touched on not going away against North Dakota. The night before, you had this comeback win against division. I assume any carryover there. I mean, obviously there's value to being able to come back and win games, but from one day to the next, that kind of helps guys. Having that experience one night kind of helps guys the next in terms of just digging in and hanging in.
I think so. I'm leaning on that a little bit. I like the idea. We were doing an awful lot of good things on Friday night. We were playing from behind, and so do you throw the pity party or do you stay after it? And I thought our guys stayed after it and kept grinding. And we're rewarded for it. Now I'm also going to tell you, there's a price you pay with that when you play in overtime and you shorten your bench a little bit as you're playing behind to get to that point. We had to get on a bus and drive 2 hours and get to North Dakota. Now, they told us we were going to have to do that a long time ago, so that wasn't a surprise. But when you tax yourself that way, I just liked we didn't go away on Saturday either, even though we had some guys that put some major minutes on Friday. I thought the guys stuck with it, and we had some looks. Just didn't go in, and so I'm not going to fault the guys for the effort piece.
I'm just curious as you were talking. So when you have a game, get on the bus, ride 2 hours. I guess I'm just curious, like, when you guys getting into North Dakota? How late of the night is it? How quick of a turnaround is it before you get you guys to, get ready for the next?
We're spoiled a little bit. We get young players that either have played the national program or have played in junior hockey where they're getting on a bus, driving 5-6 hours, staying in a hotel and playing another team. They've been through that before. We get in about 12:30. What I found about hockey players after a game, no matter if we had done a 9:30, 10:30, in that window, they're not going to bed at 11:30. They are amped up. Their body's at a certain point where they need a cool down period. So, for us, we fed them. They got on the bus, relaxed a little bit. We got there at a decent time, went to bed, had a good night's sleep, and then got up and started going to our details. And I thought the guys managed it pretty well.